Good evening. Tonight's big story centers on the state of emergency declared this morning in Buffalo. News Center's Mike Hegedus explains.
What are these guys doing on Buffalo City streets?
Wish we didn't have to be.
Well, the plea has been turned into an order. You must stay off city streets. Mayor Makowski declaring a state of emergency as of 6:30 this morning. Travel restricted to 11 classifications, including fuel supply, health and hospital service, food distribution, and public transportation. Those that violate the order are subject to a fine up to $500 and a jail term up to 90 days, and the city is serious. There was some confusion in the early hours when police were working without guidelines. The mayor provided them at a late morning news conference, as well as a reason for his action.
We always make an appeal, or I shouldn't say always, but primarily make an appeal to the citizenry to volunteer to assist. In this particular instance, I'm afraid to report that a small group had violated that appeal.
The state of emergency declaration has a 5-day lifespan. Makowski saying he can lift it whenever he sees improvement being made. The mayor also placed a call to the White House today, but all he got in return was a call from presidential aide Jack Watson. Watson listened and said to be sure to send the government all the up-to-date information. Maybe we should send them some snow, too. Mike Hegedus, TV2 News Center.
A view from the air shows Buffalo still very much a city under siege. Much of the towing and plowing done yesterday undone by winds and snow overnight. With newly stalled cars blocking streets just cleared. City cleanup crews spending the day today just regaining ground. Most of the city efforts directed at emergency clearing and deliveries, opening streets for fuel oil deliveries and fire engines, getting food and medicine to people in need. The city has about 40 pieces of equipment on the streets. State and contract machinery also routed by city coordinators. Opening main arteries the next priority. The National Guard working today to finish projects in Orchard Park and on Grand Island, also involved in traffic control, clearing roads to and around 4 city hospitals on the agenda for the Guard shift that begins work at 8 tonight.
And if you think the cities have it bad, just take a look at these scenes from Western New York's rural sections. One of the hardest hit areas here in the town of Lancaster. It's been in a full-fledged state of emergency ever since the snow began flying on Friday. Because there's a lot of wide open spaces, wind whips the snow into 30-foot drifts. Some town supervisors like Lancaster's Stanley Kaza feel people aren't paying enough attention to their problems. While Buffalo gets visits from the governor, plows, equipment and manpower from the Army and National Guard, the towns say all they get is snow.
And helicopters, 38 of them, are flying rescue and reconnaissance over Western New York. The Army National Guard Chopper Detachment is flying out of Niagara Falls Air Base. One of their assignments is resupplying food to hospitals and shelters. This chopper had just left a supply of food for the Coast Guard when we found it setting down behind Buffalo City Hall. The Guard has flown several people to hospitals and medical evacuation missions. They're also flying low-altitude reconnaissance, looking for cars that may have people in them.
There is good news tonight. The worst is over as far as this latest storm is concerned. Temperatures are on the rise, and that means cleanup crews at long last may start to get a handle on this snow. Barry is standing by with the latest on the weather and the road conditions. Barry?
Sheila, we're going to zero in right now on Erie County. First of all, most of Western New York is closed, but Buffalo definitely closed, no travel allowed. In Erie County, the following towns, it's illegal to travel in these towns: Lancaster, Newstead, Eden, Evans, Elma, Hamburg, Blaisdell, West Seneca, Orchard Park, Clarence, and Sardinia in Erie County. Chautauqua County is closed. Northern Cattaraugus County is closed. Roads are impassable. Southern Cattaraugus County, roads are poor, but you can get through. Allegheny County closed. Wyoming, Genesee, also in Orleans County, and Niagara County, it's closed with the exception of Niagara Falls. Taking the thruway from Lackawanna down to the Pennsylvania line, it's open westbound, but you can't get back. Going to Rochester, you just can't make it through on the thruway.
News Center pays tribute tonight to all of us and to everybody else, the countless thousands of people who worked around the clock the past 5 days meeting the storm emergency. There are hundreds of stories to be told, and here are just a few.
National Guard tanks cleared snow from the street in front of Columbus Hospital today. It's a desolate scene, but a lot of folks who work here would love to see it. They haven't been outside in 5 days. Doctors, nurses, and aides have been stranded at home, so people on duty when the storm hit have stayed here. Volunteers are taking up some of the slack. Some hospital workers are getting a little edgy, but most would just like to get away for a while.
I haven't been home since Friday. I'm pooped.
Miss Syracuse speaking. Yeah, Fran.
Beverly Syracuse is the nursing supervisor at Columbus, in charge of getting people into work. During one stretch, she worked nearly 3 days without sleep herself. Beverly says, in spite of all the problems, her staff is coming through with flying colors.
Thank goodness for my staff. I think it's been a matter of they keep me going, and I try to keep them going. They've realized that this is the kind of situation you just don't plan for, and they've pitched in and helped anywhere that they're needed, and they've done just anything. Everybody has just pitched in and been marvelous. I just can't speak highly enough about the kids.
People here at Columbus and in other local hospitals figure the worst of it is over. Relief workers are beginning to make it in through the snow. For Beverly Syracuse, it's a time to take a deep breath, get some sleep, and maybe take a minute to congratulate themselves for a job well done. Dick Lusinski, TV2 News Center.
When you make a phone call, it's pretty frustrating when you can't get through. But there's a story at the other end of this line that most of us probably give very little thought to.
Okay, would you like to hang up for 1 minute and try again, please? Thank you.
While you're stranded wherever you are, trying to call someone stranded wherever they are, these operators have been stranded here trying to help you get your call through.
Some of these young ladies and fellows have been boarded up in hotels in nearby locations. They've had to come over here and work, long hours in order to maintain the record volume of calls, by the way, that we've never witnessed before.
This isn't the only utility company with employees working, but the problems they're asked to handle aren't always their business.
They're asking different things, if the Skyway is open, if the Grand Island Bridge is open, how the traffic is downtown, and some of them are asking for numbers too.
Operators can handle only telephone company-related problems, and being there to answer them has created a few problems of their own. When was the last time you saw your family?
Friday morning. I'm tired and I'm getting paranoid. But I would just like to get home one night.
Despite the travel restrictions, the phone company is trying to keep service open by providing transportation. Those employees that make it in come for the duration. Stan Coleman, TV2 News Center.
The city of Buffalo has a special phone number to tell people where they can get help. I went to the Buffalo Information Center, where 4 operators are taking calls on everything from where to get food to what bus lines are running.
The information we have, you will not be able to locate your car as yet. You will be notified as to where your car was towed. It was towed to a neighborhood lot near wherever it was abandoned.
How many people are in your family? Okay, are there any children? Okay, have you tried calling any other agency? Is there a store near you that's open? Okay, do you have money?
The center has operated for almost 2 years, offering general information daytime hours. Yesterday, the mayor ordered the special number used for storm help calls. These operators took nearly 1,000 calls yesterday. The lines were lit up constantly again today. Callers do have to be patient and keep trying the flooded number, which is 855-4040. One thing these overworked operators don't need is foolish calls. They tell me people should use their heads, try to borrow money, walk to the grocery store, ask a neighbor, or go to a local community center for food. Try to solve your own problems. Buffalo police continue their war on storm looting with a major arrest this afternoon. In custody, Ralph Treat of 442 Cornwall. Treat arrested on an arson charge last night. Police investigator Jerry McEntee tells News Center his men raided Treat's house this afternoon, recovered about $5,000 in goods looted from abandoned cars and trucks. The haul includes 4 International Harvester chainsaws and a variety of radios, TV sets, and tools. Treat will face more charges from the looting. No, the eyes of the world really have been on us here in Western New York, and Buffalo-born political satirist Mark Russell has sent us a special care package, a message, courtesy of the Courier Express.
Mark Russell writes, "Hang in there, Buffalo. You're a hearty people, and this is your finest hour. You will fight winter in your streets, in your neighborhoods, and in your homes, and you will never surrender. You have taken the jokes and the put-downs about your town with your usual good nature, all the time knowing the weak live elsewhere. Besides, think how you use the occasion years from now when your kids ask,
What did you do in the storm, Daddy?